While pursuing her career aspirations in the corporate sector, Priyanka was confronted by a debilitating disease. Informed about her near fatal condition, Priyanka had a tough choice to make: either give in to the grim world of despair that her life had offered, or muster all courage to make every living moment count. Priyanka chose the latter and tried everything in her capacity to take care of her mental well being, which not only gave her the strength to live through a difficult situation, but also gave an assurance that our thoughts can completely rule our world. So it is of utmost importance to take care of the way we feel. After recuperating fully, an ambitious Priyanka decided to change her professional course and ended her corporate sojourn to enter into the world to help people feel better. Writing profusely about feelings and emotions in vulnerable conditions, Priyanka's blogs have found wide audience and great popularity. In her own simple words, Priyanka's work has helped people seek solace in their lives.
Life continues to hurl a lot of challenges at us, but it is a choice that we make. Are we ready to get anxious and depressed about it? Or is there something we'll consciously do to deal with it? Words like resilience, anxiety, mental well-being, mental illness are some things that we have heard so frequently in the past few months due to the pandemic that we all feel there is something wrong going into our lives. There is a lot of interpersonal stress in the family. There is anxiety between things that we are doing, the people we are dealing with. But is it okay to get into the clutches of this kind of tension? Or should we do something to deal with it? I have with me a very special guest today, Priyanka Nair. Priyanka has dealt with a very severe challenge in her own life. She has not only just dealt with that despair, but she made a choice at a very critical juncture of her life. What is she wanting to do? Is she wanting to lead a happy and a healthy life? Or is it just okay to get into despair and feel that the world has fallen apart? And I want to hear from Priyanka directly what has been that change in her own lifestyle and mindset that she brought about that made her so positive, not just for herself, but the messages that she's spreading around her. Priyanka, a very, very welcome on Her Stories. I'm very happy to have you on Her Stories.
Hi, Richa. Thank you for having me here. So it is good that conversations are happening around mental health. But on the contrary, I feel really sad that a lot had to happen before these conversations started. So I'll just tell a little bit of background about myself, how I got into mental health advocacy. So by qualification, I am a MBA in finance, and I have 6 to 7 years of full-time working experience. Even I have a 7-year-old daughter, and even after that, I was working because I had the support of my family members. But it was in later 2016 when I was hit with a chronic illness. It's a form of a lymph node tubercular. It's you can say first stage of lymphoma. So it was curable. So I didn't have to go to chemotherapy, radiations, but it took 1 year because I had 15 tumors in my whole body, abdomen, liver area, all were inflamed and affected. So for people, there are many people like me who are ambitious, who are too determined. They want to do something. They have this hunger to do things and they just cannot sit idle. So I'm one of them. So initially 2-3 months when I was completely down with the illness, I was helpless. So I had to sleep. I had to take complete rest. But when medicine started working, after 2-3 months, when I gained a little bit of consciousness and I thought that I can at least move around in house, I started feeling hopeless because I thought it will take another 7-8 months. It was 11-month treatment. So I was like, I can't sit like this. My daughter was 2.5-year-old. And for someone who has always been doing something, till date I'm studying. I don't even remember how many courses, certifications. I mean, I've been doing things one by one. I always like to learn new things. So that was the time I was in a mind frame. Somehow these things started bothering me and I was surrounded with so many negative things that I won't be able to do anything now. I'll be weak. Because Richa, in our society, there's this thing that everybody keeps on giving their scars, their tips and their experiences जिससे आप और डर जाते हो, and you start questioning yourself, you feel. And I had tuberculosis, a form of a TB. So people don't know about lymph node TB. So people usually know about TB, and they thought मुझे देखने से, मुझे छूने से उनको TB हो जाएगा. They used to feel like if they will come across me, they will come to meet me. If I will, like, cough or something, I'll spread TB, because they were not aware about lymph node, this form of TB. So that started taking a toll over my mental health. I clearly remember an incident which I would like to share with you. After 5-6 months, I was obviously ill, but I used to stay in a row house township. So sometimes I used to have a small walk in my lane. There was this lady who just had a newborn. She was 3-4 months, and she was carrying her baby and roaming there. So I am very fond of kids, and I just went nearby and said, how good to see you. Congratulations. I heard you had a baby. Sorry, I was ill. I could not meet you before. She asked me what happened. Told her tuberculosis. She just took 3-4 steps back, and she was like horrified. Oh my God, आपको TB हुआ and you are roaming outside. So I was like, I am not an illness in myself. It's a lymph node TB, and I had tears in my eyes, so I didn't said anything. I came back home, and after that I thought, अब मैं बाहर नहीं जाऊंगी. I won't go outside. So 2-3 incidents like this happened. People, because the lack of awareness, what lack of awareness could lead to. So I told my doctor, I asked him again, that is it contagious because I have a baby too, and is it like this kind of TB spreads? He said there are like 100 kinds of TB. Then we have so many kinds of cancer, lymphoma, lymph node. What you are dealing with is you can say is the first stage of cancer, and you are the lucky one जो कि इस stage पे आके जिनका पता चल जाता है, because if these tumors were maligned, it would have turned into severe cancer. So you should just see the positive side, that you are the one who got saved, or at the early stage where you could be diagnosed, because there are many people who get diagnosed in the 4th stage. Uske baad you cannot do anything about it. So don't worry about them. Just concentrate on the treatment and look on the brighter side. So that thing stuck me, and the awareness part stuck into my mind that यही चीज तो happens with mental health. These are tuberculosis हो गया, cancer हो गया, these are all physical ailments, right? These are all physical illnesses. But what about the mental illness which comes handy with this? People who go through cancer, severe cancer है, किसी को paralysis है, these kind of, if somebody meets an accident, they are bedridden for life at such a younger age, what happens to them? I started questioning. Somehow something changed inside me, and these questions start bothering me. While I used to lie down, I used to sleep, I used to think about उन लोगों का क्या होता है. There must be many people out there who were ambitious, who were working in a high-paid job, अच्छी जगह पे होंगे, but they met some uncertainty of life and they had to just live a life they don't want to. What do they do? How it affects their mental health? Acid attack survivors, rape survivors. So these things I started having these questions. अपने आप ही I used to think about this, and I was very fond of writing. In college also I used to write poetries, and my soft skills trainer, she used to love it, and she used to put those poetries on the notice board. So it was a very encouraging, it's a source of motivation. It was a source of motivation for me. So I thought, let's not sit on this thought. If there's something, because those thoughts were pouring, and I thought I need to discuss it with something, or either I want to write it, otherwise wo mere andar, it will be there somewhere inside me. So that was the time. On 29th December 2016, I created my blog, Virtual Siyahi, and I bought a domain name Priyanka's Pen. I had absolutely no clue about, if we talk about professional part of blogging world, it holds enormous earning potential, name, fame, everything. But I was completely unaware of it. But all I knew was that, you can create your blog, you can start writing, and and if people like, you can connect with so many people out there. And I thought, why not share about my things and what are my thoughts? Maybe someone will benefit out of it, and I'll get connected with so many people. So that's the reason I started writing. And my first blog was Bidding RDU to 2016, because 2016 was a very harsh year for me. So I started with that. So in 2017, then I hardly used to write 1 or 2 blog in a month because I wasn't aware about how this blogging thing works. I thought bas aap likh do. And initially when you start something new, you can resonate with this, Richa, that you have this inhibition, that fear of getting judged, what people will say, and whether someone will read me or not, right? So I used to be very much particular about my grammar, my vocabulary, and what words I'm using. Somebody will troll me, कोई आके मुझे कुछ लिख देगा, then again I'll be depressed, anxiety हो जाएगी. So these are the things, and that was the time when like I told you, that anxiety, depression, पता नहीं था. I knew that होता है कुछ ये सब चीजें, but that was the first time I started feeling restless. And these are the things that people don't believe, but many mental illnesses have symptoms which are physical. Like in anxiety, you can feel rapid heart palpitation, right? You can have this, in Hindi you call it dhar dhar ho raha hai, ghabrahat ho rahi hai, right? You must have heard somebody saying it. So these are all physical symptoms. You experience heat flashes on your body. आपको पसीना नहीं आता है, but you feel that you are feeling warm. अजीब सी घबराहट होती है. And then there are certain food like coffee. I used to feel, I don't know, I am a coffee addict. So it started happening that when I used to have coffee, and I used to feel वो heat flashes होते थे, and I used to sweat a lot, and restlessness बढ़ जाती थी. So I observed these pattern for a while, and I understood this is happening because of caffeine. So I stopped having coffee. And there has to be sometimes some reason because of this is happening, but sometimes there is no reason at all. Sometimes because of some underlying disease or illness, your mental illnesses crops up. And society, family members and friends have a major role to play here. They can either aggravate it or they can completely help you mellow down. Because when you have a complete positive environment, support system, it really helps you. And when when you lack that support system, that positive atmosphere around you, it elevates, it aggravates. So you don't get validation about how you are feeling, why you are feeling. Nobody is there to listen to you. So it creates another kind of a havoc in your mind. Because people sometimes feel, what's the big deal? Everybody go through some or the other thing in life. It's okay. You will come, get over it. But things happen differently for different people, and their ability to cope up with those things are different. And that makes whole difference. And you cannot judge, or you can compare an apple with a pear or a banana with a guava. So we have this habit of comparing, instant comparison. Yeah, like Richa can do, Priyanka can do.
Admirable that you have come a long way. From 2016, when you faced this issue yourself, you realize that, I have to work on myself, taking time off, thinking about it, and channelizing it in a very, very positive manner after certain experiences that you had. And what you rightly mentioned, that some steps that you have, whether it is related to your blogging, and you may have started with 1 or 2 blogs, but you've written hundreds of blogs that have resonated with so many people, and you have connected not only personally, but your ideas, the way you have brought up things in your blogs have helped people immensely after reading. So Priyanka, as you just rightly mentioned, the way the support system is, whether it is amongst your friends or within the family, that plays a very major role in helping you deal with a certain issue, whether it is anxiety or day-to-day worries. How do you take your mind off? So if I have to take some valuable inputs of yours for now, like in the pandemic, the personal life of people, they have come so close together, whether they like it or not, that it is bound to lead to some kind of interpersonal stress within the family. There are anxiety issues with kids, there are a lot of work pressures on adults, and if you talk to people, they are saying we don't know how to tackle with small situations. A small thing turns into a heated argument, and then snowballs into another big problem in the family. What is it that, as like there are 4 to 5 or 6 inmates in the family, what is it that can be done? Few concrete steps or pointers you can give, just so that small things don't become big issues and there are no clashes happening frequently.
Yeah, very, very interesting question, Richa, because I have been, I have been asked this question a lot during this pandemic. Because as I started with this conversation, I said something that it's good that conversations are happening. And because of this pandemic, people started realizing that there is something called as mental health. Mental illnesses exist, stress exists, like you said, that interpersonal relationships and interpersonal stress, family stress have increased a lot. And you won't believe, it is said, as per WHO, that is World Health Organization, that we have witnessed a 20% increase in mental illnesses worldwide. Maybe it's more now. This is a data I've been referring to from WHO. It is around 1.5 month old data. But it is a combined and collective thing due to domestic violence, substance abuse, child abuse. So because we were not used to of staying together for such longer period, and the person, like if you were at your in-laws place, you got stuck there. If I was with someone whom I don't like much, but I was visiting them, but I got stuck over there. So it was like a situation, it was like a real testing time of humanity also, and real testing time of as an individual. So I'll say that this is for the first time when children, adults, and everybody was affected on a similar scale, although the level of effect they got affected was different, but everybody got affected, economically, physically, financially, mentally. Not a single area was. So what I would like to say here is that this was a time when initially I used to see posts on social media, do this, do that. Even I used to take out time to read a book, spend some time with your family, and you know what? Practically speaking, these things work for a very shorter period of time, because you know that 21 days ke baad lockdown khul jayega, life will be normal. So people somehow adjust for that 21 days. But human nature is such that after 21 days, we could adjust for more 7 days, but not after that. Then we start getting irritated, frustrated, anger, all these things start coming up. And when these things crops, you certainly, take out your frustration on your kids, on your wife, on your husband, on your in-laws, and in-laws will in turn criticize their daughter-in-law or their grandchildren. So I have observed this scenario. So in my house, we are only 2-3 people. So luckily I didn't face such thing much. But yeah, my child was, obviously like other children, she was caught in home. So she has her own experience, which I will share with you. But anxiety and depression, these two words are like they came up so abruptly during this thing that people have been talking a lot about depression, anxiety, OCD, PTSD, ho raha, ye ho raha, wo ho raha. Because there are few things which triggers, and usse aapki purani koi cheeze taza ho jati hai. So this pandemic time, like me and you don't get along well. But since you go to office, I have some 12 hours away from you. But since now you are with me daily, so maybe we'll fall into a regular spat with each other. Kabhi na kabhi arguments honge hi, because we are not used to of each other, right? That daily routine mein, you were not there, you were in office. But still, see, if you are here right now with me daily, I have to see you, I have to bear with you. So these things started happening with husband, wife, with in-laws, with children, and it gave a real mental health, a call for a mental health situation. Because what happened after a certain period of time, people started losing job, they faced salary cuts. Even women were faced with tremendous workload. Apne yahan pe situation is such, we are conditioned in a way that women has to work. She has to cook, she has to do everything, because without housemaid help, the workload was difficult, double. And everybody was at home, so somebody needs tea, somebody needs coffee, somebody needs food. Yeah. And then again, we don't even get that consideration that she is the one. How will she be able to do everything alone? So let's help her. Itni consideration, compassion hardly kisi family members mein hai. There you would find a very smaller ratio of such kind of family, members, or a family where the kind of arrangement is there. So usually women slogged a lot. Now things are better, because few people started calling their mates, and they started working out. So things have started settling around a little bit. But initially 2-3 months, it was really horrible for many women, because I've talked and spoken to so many women, and they all had the same problem, because they got no help. They had to manage with the online classes. It was all new for them, and they also started facing mental health issues. They felt very irritated, anger, and agitated. And when they would complain, they would get either they would get a deep scold, or obviously they were ignored like always. So and
We've
for
all
children,
had challenges adapting to this new form. And what could be done? Like, where do we find our own space when we say oh, small things to be done on a regular basis, where you find some sanity for yourself, or just maintaining that harmony within the family?
obviously,
So, what are the do's one could think of, like
yeah.
of that?
So, like we always talk about self-care, personal time, and due to this pandemic, जितना time मिलता था वो भी नहीं मिल रहा था. So
Right.
now when things are settling down, and when you will reflect back, you will obviously understand that what went wrong, what you could have done, what you could not have done, where you could have asked for help. So what I would like to say here is that it's our thing that we have adopted is that we women need to be very perfect. हमें सब होना आना चाहिए, हमें सब टाइमली करना चाहिए. And if I won't get up on time, if I won't do this thing on time, काम होगा नहीं घर का. And this is how family members have adapted us, right? That she will do it, वो labels लग जाते हैं. And somehow we have only set that labels. So I'm not saying that don't get up tomorrow and make tea for anyone. But yeah, sometimes it's okay to go slow. Sometimes it is okay to yell. If nobody's listening to you, you need to raise your voice. You need to define your boundaries. This is what I'm capable of doing. If she's capable of doing 7 tasks in 1 hour, I am only capable of doing 3 tasks in 1 hour. That is my capacity. So for that, first of all, you need to be honest with yourself. As a woman, I'm talking about as a housewife, a homemaker, or a working woman. So you need to define yourself, because you know yourself better. I know myself, how much I can do. And there is no shame that Richa can do so many work in a day. Wow. And I can only do this thing. So am I a bad woman? Am I imperfect woman? No. It is just my and your ability. There's this difference, and that difference will always be there in many people you meet. Not everybody is same, right? Somebody will surpass you, and somebody will not be able to do a single thing, and you will say that इतना भी नहीं कर सकते, मुझे इतना ही आता है. So you need to be honest, but yeah, you don't have to be rude or harsh. But you need to define and set those boundary line. You need to prioritize what has to be done. Yeah, prioritizing and structuring the day really helps. When you know that you have a long day ahead, you have 7 family members in your house, everybody is dependent upon you. Nobody even goes into the kitchen and drinks a cup of water or a cup of tea. You have to serve them in hand. There are families like this. So when you know these things, this is how your family works. So you have to prioritize. If there are 10 things, you have to see what is need to be done first, second, third, fourth, and what is need to be done at the last. हमें सब करना होता है. We have to do the laundry, we have to iron, we have to do everything. So no, if you are not feeling good today, because you know what happens, Richa, in the long run, this becomes a habit of stretching ourselves.
Yeah, that becomes the culture of the family, the way things happen. And what you're saying is valid, that setting your own boundaries and being aware of your own limitations, that this is the maximum one can do in a certain given period of time.
Yeah, maximum I can do here. This is what I can do today. Aaj I'm not feeling well. Today is the day there are days, right, when we feel super energetic, when we finish tasks fatafat, and there are days when we feel like aaj nahi ho raha hai mujhse. So that day you will be very frustrated, you will be irritated, and that is the time jab aapko restlessness badhti hai, anxiety badhti hai. Because anxiety is also, I won't say that anxiety is only that mujhe aaj restlessness lag raha hai to mujhe anxiety ho gayi hai. No. It's a long thing, like it's something that has been persistently in you. If you have been feeling like this for like 3-4 weeks now, it has been 3-4 weeks, and I get overwhelmed, I feel angry and agitated all the time, then there is something you need to sit and introspect. You need to work on that. You need to breathe, basically. Sometimes, especially this happens with women and also men, because I have seen during this pandemic, although men are not allowed to be weak, men can't be stressed. So somehow I don't believe in this. Men can be stressed. Men have their own set of problems. They have their own stress, like financial stress. And working from home is not easy. I am sure many of people would have understood that, because Richa, before the pandemic thing happened, everybody wanted to work from home. They used to feel that I wish I could get a job.
Yeah.
And now I hear exactly opposite. No, Baba, we will never work from home. We don't want work from home job. So the things have changed. Perceptions have changed. Even men faced a lot of issues. Many of them lost their job. They have been slogging, and when they are working from home, they are judged. They are totally there on this surveillance, whether they are working or not. So these creates another kind of a stress on them. And then if we come on children, I can share my personal example with you. She's 7-year-old and she has been diagnosed with psoriasis during this pandemic only. It's a severe skin kind of skin condition. So I had to take her to doctor in June. The lockdown was completely open that time, but that was the first time after March I took her outside after 3 months, and in between everything she was listening to was corona se ye ho jata hai, wo ho jata hai, wearing the mask, sanitizer, and the news thing. And then we had cases in our neighbor and around us. So there was this fear instilled in her, although she never spoke about it. And I knew she has fears, like, okay, she has fears, but I wasn't aware the level of the fear. But the day when I took her outside, she literally had a panic attack. And I could see that when people say that aisa kuch nahi hota hai, but since maybe because I am educated in this thing, I know about these things, so I could understand what is happening to her. She had this sweating, she was screaming, she was getting like kuch ho raha hai, mama kuch ho raha hai, stop the vehicle, mama I don't want to go there. And she was sweating and she was being all panicky. So it's not that whenever we are panicky we are having a panic attack, but we have these symptoms which it triggered her fear, because she saw everybody around wearing mask. And in the clinic when we reached, it was like maintain the distance. Doctor was seeing her from a distance, and the atmosphere was completely different for me also. I was also feeling what is happening around us, this is what is happening. So for a kid it was obviously a new thing. So we all have faced our set of difficulties during this pandemic, and when you will, I don't want to outstretch this session, but yeah, it happens that when you will listen to the experiences people had during this, you will understand what and how they went through, and they all have developed their own coping mechanisms. So I would like to say, in short, building resilience is very important, like you started very well saying that we have been listening about building resilience, being our emotional well-being in harmony, equilibrium. So resilience, we all are grown up now, so building resilience at this point of time will be difficult, but specifically for our children, we need to be very much aware that we prepare them for a better life. We make them life ready in such a way that today's corona, I don't know what will happen next 10 years down the lane, 20 years down the lane, if they face so if they face something like this, so they should be prepared. This is what it is happening, because I have been taking so many sessions during this pandemic sessions. Everything I could understand was people are like, kya kare, kaise nikle, what should we do? Everybody wants a quick fix. So honestly, there is no quick fix, I would say. I'm not challenging it, but stress, we are humans, stress aayega, but you have to understand it. There is stress, the root cause of it, and when you try to question yourself, why I'm feeling stressed, what made me feel stressed, okay, so this is what, can I do something about it? In corona, it's a big no, you cannot do anything about it, but if there is something you can do about it, you should do it. If there is something you cannot do about it, you should not worry about it, because in a way you are going to somehow bother your own self. And this thought, these things, if in long run, if we give a lot of, you can say that isko hum zyada importance dete hain, so it creates a havoc in our mind, and somehow
it keep on going.
Exactly.
So Priyanka, I guess what you are mentioning is so very valid, that whether it is a person, it is a male member of the family or the female who happens to be the primary caregiver, we all need to understand our boundaries. We all need to set limitations for ourselves and not let that tension or anxiety transmit to our children. And if children do feel something unusual, there is a more gentle way of handling it than just dismissing it rightly.
You should never.
Yeah. And thanks a lot, Priyanka. Sorry, you're mentioning something.
I was just saying, this is a very important point you mentioned, that we should never dismiss, even if we are adults. Like if you are speaking to your husband, if your husband came to you, he wants to say something, you should always give an open, safe space, even if you are not able to give a solution, but at least be an open listener, an active listener. So at least it eases the person. So try to do that. Always.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And Priyanka, your points and the kind of ideas you shared are very interesting. And I hope more people can understand where you come from and how this transformation in your own life has helped sending out that message. Many thanks for being on Her Stories.
Thank you so much. Thank you.